What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Overrated Podcast. It's your host, Anthony, back here with my brother Dallin, per usual, as always, bringing you this exciting college football news on another great week of college football. How you feeling, Dallin? How you feeling this week?
Yeah, I just want to see what everything plays out on Tuesday. It's a lot of crazy, a lot of shock.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not gonna take too much on the intros because we got a lot to get into this week. But as always, if you're on YouTube watching this, like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell if you're interested in seeing the new videos as we drop. Yeah, a lot of games. It's Rivalry weekend this week in college football. A lot of games to talk about. Starting on Black Friday, we kicked off at Boulder, 12 Eastern time, as number 25 Colorado spanked Oklahoma State 52-0. I mean, there's nothing really to say about this game.
It's really not.
Like this is basically Shador Sanders and Travis Hunter's, LeJontay Wester, Will Shepherd, and all the seniors on that team. They knew it was their last game in Boulder, and they turned up.
Travis Hunter for
biggest
Heisman?
win. Oh, definitely, without a doubt.
3 touchdowns and an interception.
Are we still arguing whether or not Travis Hunter is the trophy winner at this point?
Well, I mean, you got to look at it like this. Like off of last week, they kind of probably put him back in discussion where it could be emergency. So it's like, oh, now he go out and gives 3 touchdowns and an interception. It's a wrap. There ain't no conversation about it no more.
Yeah, like I said, Ashton Genty's whole Heisman campaign was built on him beating Barry Sanders' rushing yards record. He's not doing it. At least not right now. I think he's still like 400 yards off, 300 something off.
Which I mean,
nah.
Oh.
So like, that was basically his argument for the Heisman campaign. The moment we realized he wasn't doing it, I don't think it was close anymore. Personally. So, I mean, 3 touchdowns, a pick. They don't throw at him. Like, he should have been a Thorpe finalist. Like, that's crazy. That Travis Hunter is different. Shador Sanders is different.
I know he's going to the Raiders in the draft. So now we're just going to leave it up to see if Houston can beat BYU. This might not be their last game.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you guys don't know, as we're recording this, that's why my TV's on in the background. We got BYU and Houston playing right now. BYU wins. Iowa State faces Arizona State in the Big 12 championship game. We'll preview that Arizona State game and that Iowa State game later in this episode. And then if BYU loses to Houston, Colorado books their ticket to a Big 12 championship. And then at that point, it's 60 minutes away from a college football playoff berth for either university. Big year for Kenny Dillingham, Deion Sanders, Signetti, and all the other coaches that turned these programs from mediocre programs to college football playoff contenders. It's amazing. But yeah, this is the biggest win margin in Coach Prime's era. And Shador Sanders broke the record for the most passing yards and passing touchdowns from a Colorado quarterback in Colorado history. So that's a big game for him. LeJontay Wester became the 10th all-time receiving yards catch receptions and yardage in a career. So LeJohntay West is a top 10 receiver, yards wide, all time in college football, which is kind of insane.
Wait, is he a junior?
He's a senior.
He's a senior. Oh, shoot.
Yeah. All of his years at FIU, whatever university he went to before Colorado, he broke the record. There are school records for receiving yards and touchdowns, and now he's broken Colorado's records for receiving yards and NCAA record for receiving yards. So, clap it up to him.
Yeah, I didn't even know Webster was built like that.
Yeah. Webster's different. Definitely going to be drafted. Hopefully in the top 3 rounds, because I think LeJohntay Wester is a dog. Anybody that gets LeJohntay Wester is getting a superstar receiver, slot receiver.
He should be second round easily.
He should be a day one. He should be a day one pick. He should be.
I gotta see how many receivers coming out this year. You know, some of them might stay. So
I mean, like if you really think about the competition, like if you really think about the receivers that's coming out in the draft class, you got Teteroa McMillan, who everyone has somehow crowned as the number 1 receiver in this class, which is insane to me. And then there's Luther Burden and Trey Harris and who else is coming out this year? Emeka Ibuka.
Oh, there's no way McMillan's a crown of the best receiver.
No, the best receiver is Travis Hunter, whether he plays DB or receiver.
Hands down.
But I think LeJohntay Wester has an argument as a top 5 receiver in this draft class. I think because he went to a university that he went to prior to Colorado, and then he went to Colorado with, Travis Hunter getting all the spotlight in that receiving room. He's going to have a big draft combine in order to like really raise his draft stock. But with that being said, he's gonna have to have a good 40 time too, because he's not tall. He's not like a tall, lanky like Travis. You know, Travis is 6'6", whatever. He's tall, lengthy.
He's like 6'1". McMillan's like 6'4", right?
I think Travis is like 6'3".
How
tall is Travis Hunter?
You're giving him a little too much height.
Maybe I am giving him a little too much grace. We're gonna figure this out.
I think you're undermining McMillan's height.
Yeah, Travis Hunter 6'1". So he's about my height, but like he's lengthy, and I mean he's a superstar. He's a stud. He's gonna go number 1 overall probably. So McMillan's there's no argument there. Yeah, Teteroa is big. I knew Teteroa was big though. I'm talking about like LeJohntay Wester.
Oh no! Webster's like what, 5?
Like 5'10". I'm saying he's gonna have like a really big 40 in combine in order to get drafted high because he's small. He's 5'11". Yeah,
I think he's gonna.
He's quick for sure. He's quick for sure.
I think he's gonna have a good fit. I think he's gonna have a good 40. He should have a good combine.
He should have a great combine. But like that's the difference between like him being on a team with Travis, because Travis is not going to go to the draft combine. He doesn't have to. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to run a 40. He doesn't have to do any other drills because
he's one of those players.
Yeah. Same thing with like Shador. LeJohntay Wester, unfortunately, should be treated like that because I think he's a superstar. But you know, it is what it is. We'll see. But yeah, Oklahoma State. Let's talk about Oklahoma State a little bit before we move on to the next topic. Mike Gundy, does he deserve a job? This is, by the way, Oklahoma State 0-9 in conference play this year.
Oklahoma State needs a coach change. Go ahead, make it happen. They haven't been relevant for what, like the past 3 years, 4 years, probably forever. I don't fucking.
Well, I mean, they were projected to win this division or be one of the teams that were projected to win this division. I think it was between them, Utah, and Kansas as the three teams that people thought was going to win this division start the year. But yeah, Oklahoma State this year with their wins against South Dakota State, Arkansas, Tulsa, and those all came in the first 3 weeks. So they started 3-0 and have not won a game since.
He's been on a 9-game losing streak. They had to have a bunch of injuries. There's no way
No,
that you
no
have
injuries.
starters, no injuries,
No
and you
injuries.
guys lose 9
No
straight.
injuries. Yeah.
Oh my god.
It started. I mean, so they won that game against Arkansas in overtime, which, by the way, they were ranked at that time, and this was like, how do I say this? Like, Arkansas is a good football program. Like, we thought that Arkansas was great this year. We thought that Arkansas was like just a product of a conference with great teams, and they had a rough schedule essentially. But yeah, that's a big win for Oklahoma State to start the season. For them to go and beat Arkansas and then turn around and not win another football game, it's kind of insane. Like, normally when your team gets a big win, especially against an SEC opponent, you you get motivated and you go on a run. Yeah. You don't slow down. So that's
they had a complete stop. They slowed down for this.
Yeah,
that's insane. You lose 9 straight after starting 3-0. Yeah, it's just a terrible downfall of a season.
Yeah, and then like with losses to Utah and Baylor, TCU. Yeah. No. Not the best start not the best year for Mike Gundy and the Cowboys. A lot happened with Mike Gundy. I don't know. Maybe I think it's a time for a change there. I think Ollie Gordon's going to go to the NFL, and then they really don't have an answer at quarterback. They really don't have an answer at receiver. Their defense is horrid. So I mean, it's over for Mike Gundy and the Cowboys this season, and probably next season if they keep him at. I don't know how they progress with Mike Gundy right now. Personally,
I think after this year that he's done. I just don't think there's no way he should be a coach right now. He might be somewhere else, but just not. He's gonna need a different place. He need a change, and they need a change in the culture. They want to stay relevant in that conference.
All right, let's move on. Number 11, Boise State beats Oregon State 34-18. Ashton Jeanty, who basically has been the revolving story around this Boise State Broncos team, had another Heisman-like performance per usual. Let me just pull up his stats from that game.
I think he had 200 yards.
Yeah. He had a monster game. He had 37 carries for 226 yards and a touchdown.
His carries are getting more and more.
Yeah, they're working him.
Yeah, he went from they're like halfway through the season from like 18 to 20 something carries. Now he's starting to touch 30. Madison must not be doing what the fuck he's supposed to be doing.
Well, Madison's playing great football. I think right now Boise State's just at a point where they're like, you have a star running back, and I think Ashton Jeanty with 20 carries, 15 to 20 carries a game, 25 carries a game, it would still be great, and you'll still win football games. But that his only way of winning a Heisman Trophy is to even if the Clinsbury Sanders record, you're gonna feed him. I think that's what Boise State's trying to do. I think the team is extremely overrated. Extremely overrated. But I do think Ashton Jeanty is good. I do think Ashton Jeanty is a Heisman contender. I do think he's the best running back in the nation.
They're going to be the first team out in the college playoffs. It's like if they get a first round bye, whoever they meet after that it's a wrap. They have a good team, but they don't have a playoff team. Not with all the juggernauts that's going to go to the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I just don't think that You're gonna get Ashton Genty hurt against top tier talent.
Like if they play, so look, if they play Arizona State, it's a wrap. That defense, I don't think that defense can keep up with Arizona State. Take Scatterbo for every. I don't want to say every play. I don't think they can take Scatterbo for all 4 quarters. Then that defense is aggressive.
Yeah, my whole thing is, one, they haven't truly been tested. I know people are gonna say, well, they played Oregon, but like I said, and like I've been arguing with people in the comment sections of social media posts to the death of me. I don't know why I even do it. These people don't even watch college football. Side note, if you're in comment sections and you're arguing the Heisman debate between Ashton Genty and Travis Hunter, or you're arguing the Thorpe finalist debate between Travis Hunter not being snubbed or being snubbed, if you're saying that he should not be a Thorpe finalist or a Heisman Trophy winner because he's mediocre on defense, then you're not watching football. They're not throwing at him. And if you're saying, what was that?
So we're talking about Travis here, right?
Yeah, we're talking about Travis. This is just a side note because I've been reading all the comments as I be on social media. And if you're saying that he should not be a Thorpe finalist because his stats don't show that he's the best DB or that he doesn't lead in interceptions, because the best DB doesn't get thrown, the ball doesn't, they don't throw at him. Like, how can you lead the nation in interceptions when you get targeted 10 times all year? He's probably been targeted like 15 times all year, and he has 4 interceptions, and the rest are pass breakups. And I think he gave up like 1 touchdown this year against Utah.
They don't even watch football if they're saying Travis.
Like, you're not watching football. Tackles? Are you going to argue tackles is a Thorpe award? Because he doesn't make tackles. He's a DB. He's not Caleb Downs. He's not going to have tackles.
He's a corner.
Like,
the man weighs like $190.
What are you saying? And then you're just hating because you're saying, well, he's not better than Will Johnson. It doesn't matter. Will Johnson hasn't played all year. That's why he's not a Thorpe finalist. You can't say he's not better than Will Johnson as your argument. Will Johnson's not going to be a finalist for any award because he wasn't eligible for any award because he hasn't played in forever.
Will Johnson's not getting drafted in the first round, unlike Travis.
I'm not even trying to be biased. I'm not even trying to be biased. But here's the thing. On that Thorpe finalist award, one person is better than Travis Hunter at that DB position. And I don't even think he's better. I just think he gets tested more, and he's been more proven to stop when he's getting tested. But it's the Texas DB, Jahdae Brown. That's the only guy, or Barron, Jahdae Barron, whatever his name is.
I think it might be Barron.
He's the only John Day Barron. He's the only guy. I'm sorry, but Caleb Downs, as special as he is, he shouldn't be a Thorpe finalist over Travis Hunter. And Caleb Downs is special, but he's a safety. I've never seen a safety that really plays like Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs is special.
Yeah.
Like special. But that's not the point. He plays safety. Of course his stats are there because he has to make open field tackles and he has to jump and get interceptions and play out of position and read the eyes of the quarterback and go to the ball. That's his job. His job is to fill run gaps. Travis's job is to make sure that the man across from him does not catch the ball, and he's been really good at it. So what are we talking about? But on a side note, moving on, Ashton Genty and this Boise State team is crazy. I mean, they've had a crazy year, obviously. But like they're still riding the cocktails over that loss to Oregon. I feel like that's like the committee's reasoning for them being a top 12 team. Well, they lost to Oregon by 3. Can you imagine that being an argument for Colorado? They're 10-1, but their losses to Oregon by 3. Like, come on.
If that's gonna be Boise State's argument, I swear, like we are really gonna just be to a point of like, okay, put him in first round bye, give it to him. That's fine. They're gonna have all that time just to get waxed and barely even score maybe 1 or 2 touchdowns against a juggernaut of a defense.
I just want to say this, and we're gonna also cover this game, but we watched Ohio State's defense against Michigan. Did we not?
Yeah.
Is Boise State going to run the ball down Ohio State's throat?
Most
Even with Ashton Genty? No. What about Texas? Can we just watch Texas defense against A&M? Are they going to run the ball down Texas's throat? No. No, they're not. What about South Carolina, who we just watched beat Clemson today? Are they going to run the ball down South Carolina's defensive line's throat? Like, this is my point on why Boise State is overrated. Their whole game plan is Ashton Genty and then throw. What happens when Ashton Genty can't run the ball? They're going to get stopped against bigger competition.
Let's see. So we will sit here and act like Boise State is going to run the ball against, we'll say, like a Georgia. That front seven is getting abused.
Let's stop.
No. Let's not, because we're talking about the same Georgia that just be on a Texas team that apparently their whole front seven played 100 something like 80 snaps together. Georgia front seven manhandled them that entire game.
We can talk about it. We can talk about it because this is our next game, by the way. But I watched Georgia Tech run the ball down Georgia's throat all game. I think Boise might be able to.
It's not so cheap. Let me see.
But we'll go to that game now, actually. Number 7, Georgia survives Georgia Tech 44-42 in a thriller on Friday night. If you stayed up and watched that 8 overtime game, my emotions were all over the place. One, Georgia Tech had a big lead to start this game. I think they were up 17-0 or 17-3.
No, 17-0 at half.
And then they blew it. One on a Haynes King fumble in the fourth quarter that gave Georgia the ball back. They gave them the ability to tie the game late in that game. And then they go into overtime. And I felt like every time Georgia got stopped, Georgia Tech was going to win it. I just felt like, oh, Georgia Tech with another stop. Georgia Tech's about to win it on this offensive play because Georgia cannot stop Georgia Tech's run attack. Well, Haynes King and Georgia Tech ran the ball one time in overtime, and they got stopped, and it was a QB run. It wasn't a downhill run. Now, granted, not Haynes King, the running back Jamal Haynes,
yeah,
he was out. With an injury in overtime. So he didn't play in a lot of those overtime. I think he didn't play in overtime at all. He went out with an ankle injury. But Georgia could not stop the run. And I felt like both teams actually were not trying to run the ball in overtime. They kept trying to do these weird little RPO pass situations where they try to roll out and throw to the back of the end zone. And Georgia dropped 2 touchdowns that would have ended the game
early.
And then
first one they dropped.
Well, the first one's a bad ball by Carson Beck. He threw it, and the receiver had to kind of lean back and dive for it because the ball was behind him and low, and dropped it. But the second one hit him right here, and he still dropped it. And then Georgia Tech, Haynes King accuracy in overtime was so fucking bad. I kept thinking, like, who are you throwing the ball to?
Georgia Tech had so many chances to win and
oh my god! I kept saying
every single
run the
one.
ball. I kept saying run the ball, run the ball. Georgia Tech.
Even without Jamal Haynes, they still have a backup. They can still get
Run
downhill. That's all you need is to get downhill.
And then what did Georgia finally do to win that game?
They ran
the fucking ball. And no quarterback run, which Georgia also tried to do with Carson Beck and got stopped in overtime. Downhill running, zone run. All you had to do. Neither team would have stopped it. Georgia Tech would have scored if they would have zone ran.
Easily.
The game would have been over. Also, like, fourth quarter, 4th and goal. Georgia's going for it. They throw a slant to Delpit, the tight end.
Yeah,
and they call a PI, the most questionable pass interference call against Georgia Tech that would have probably ended the game right there. That was not pass interference. But again, the officiating this year has been so bad. Like, there's no reason to go back and forth on the calls. Plus, Georgia Tech had multiple opportunities to win that game without that going their way anyway. I mean, like I said, the Haynes King fumble really fucked them. Because not only did he fumble on that third down, he got the first down. So he got the first down, and then he backed up and tried to like re-go to like a different hole and got swaxed and fumbled. Instead of just putting his head down and continue to go behind his offensive line, which he already had the first down. So, yeah, Georgia Tech, would have been the first team this year, or the first team in college football history to beat 3 top 10 opponents in the same season if they would have pulled off that win at Georgia.
No, they would have been the first team to beat Georgia at home. They have not lost at home.
Yeah, that also would have happened. So not only would they have been the first team in college football history with 3 top 10 wins in a season, they would have been the first team in the Kirby Smart era to beat Georgia at home. And Georgia's probably going to host a playoff game, which I don't think, like everyone keeps saying, and the commentator said it 1,000 times during the game. Georgia wins this game against Georgia Tech, they're guaranteed a playoff spot, even if they lose in the SEC championship game. I don't think that's the case. 3-loss Georgia. Do you think they get in with a loss in the SEC championship game to Texas?
I was hoping Texas A&M was going to make it because Georgia lost. Texas A&M would have made it, but then that would push Georgia out, and then Bama would have got in.
I don't think Texas A&M makes it. This is what I'm thinking in my head. I'm thinking South Carolina is not going to get pushed into the playoff rankings this week. I think they're going to be on the outside looking in on championship weekend. I think if Georgia loses to Texas, you're not in the playoffs. I think they might take South Carolina over you with 3 losses.
But how can you take South Carolina over Bama when they beat South Carolina early in the season?
They did beat South Carolina, but South Carolina beat Bama, who also beat Georgia.
We beat Georgia too.
That's what I'm saying.
I just don't. It's too many scenarios because then we would have, if Texas makes it, that's 1. Tennessee, we definitely know they're making.
Or sorry, South Carolina lost to Alabama. Yeah,
that's 2.
Alabama's done, and it's not because.
I don't think that's possible.
It's not because of the 3 losses. It's just because who you lost to. Alabama's out. Without a doubt. I mean, you guys are ranked 13.
13. Oh, we did. And guess what? Miami just lost too. They're not even going to the ACC championship.
Yeah, it's Clemson who lost to South Carolina.
Yeah, but that wasn't a conference game. So Miami lost to.
I know. So it's Clemson versus SMU.
Yeah.
So my argument is, do you take a two-loss SMU team that lost in the conference championship to Clemson as a playoff team over Georgia that lost to Texas in the SEC championship game with 3 losses?
Definitely not. Oh,
what about Ohio State now that has 2 losses, and Penn State who might have 2 losses in the Big Ten championship game? Because now Penn State goes to the Big Ten championship game against Oregon. Ohio State's on a bubble. They have 2 losses. Indiana has 1 loss. So I'm sorry, SEC stands. There's a chance that Penn State, Ohio State, Indiana, and Oregon all get in from the Big Ten, and then the SEC is only left with 2 teams.
So, okay,
Tennessee,
hear me out with that one.
And the winner of the SEC championship game.
So Oregon's definitely making it. If Oregon's playing Penn State.
I think Oregon makes it even if they lose.
Yeah, Oregon's gonna make it regardless. If we're talking about like Penn State or Ohio State type shit. How they play it? Okay. So if Oregon beats Penn State, then Indiana should still definitely be in regardless. But I think Ohio State might slide in. And it also comes down to Clemson and SMU. Because if SMU wins, then Clemson's definitely not making it. We know that for a fact.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a rabbit hole right now. We're gonna wait till Tuesday and playoff rankings are dropped before we get into this whole debate on who should be in and who should not. Let's move on though.
They lost 2.
Let's move on. Still got a lot of games to go over. We'll go number 8, Tennessee beats Vandy on their senior night in their house, 36-23. This is still a good year for Vanderbilt.
Yeah, we're still bowl eligible, right?
Yeah, but I think they're on a 6-game losing streak to end the season. So I just want to say it's a good year for Vandy because, I mean, they're a bowl team. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Nico Iamaleava decided to finally throw for over 200 yards and multiple touchdowns today. Remember, I've been talking about all year that his inability to do that is going to cost Tennessee a championship.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? He said, today I can do it against Vandy. Granted, against Vandy, but he did it. He did it.
Yeah, but we're taking this one game. We got to see what he does in the playoffs.
And then Dylan Sampson, the leading rusher in the SEC. Another big game, 25 carries for 178 yards.
Dylan Sampson is going to be that offensive, offense deal breaker. If he has a good game, then Tennessee's going to win. If he has a bad game, they have no chance.
I don't see how he has a bad game.
You have a bad game. Let's say 20 yards, 20 carries deep, and you just get stopped every play. So you say have 50 yards off of just 20 carries?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the O-line for Tennessee, the run scheme, I just don't see him getting stopped. I think if they lose a playoff game, it's because Nico Iamaleava sucks in that game. We've seen him struggle in big-time moments. We've seen him struggle putting together game-winning or big-time drives. I think that's going to be the death of him, and I said it all year. On top of their offensive game plan, throwing the ball, it's either big shot or nothing. This team has no grinded out offensive play callings. It's run the ball, play action, shot. That's their offense right now.
That's what I'm saying. So if you stop at Dylan Sampson, then Nico Iamaleava, how do I pronounce his last name? He doesn't have that accuracy, and he doesn't really have that accuracy in order to just make the big time plays that they're taking away just by the run game.
Nah, he doesn't. He struggles. He struggles with the accuracy. he struggles with consistency. That I mean, he's a freshman, like so it's you know, duh. But like at the same time, I just expect more because he has a championship. Like, when's the last time you seen Tennessee with a legit championship contending squad around him? That team is championship ready. He just needs to make championship throws for them. He doesn't have to be special. He just has to be better. And today he was better. Like if he plays like this for the rest of the season, I like Tennessee's odds. I really do. I think that team can beat anybody. The defense is good. The run game is good. The offensive play calling sucks, but it's all right because everybody else is good. The defensive play calling is amazing. The blitz scheme, the D-line is great. The run scheme is good. It's that pass scheme. Like, what the fuck? And like Colorado does it too, and it irritates my soul. Why do you take big time shots on 3rd and short? I don't understand it.
Does it.
Yeah, like Colorado does it the most though. Like Shedeur would throw a fade on 3rd and short, or 4th and 2, or 4th and 5. He'll throw like a post instead of like a check down to get the first. I don't understand it. He'll throw like a streak or a fade. Like it's always a fade. They love fades. Quarterbacks nowadays love fades, back shoulder fades. That's their go-to throw on big time draw or big time throws. So yeah, like I said, I feel like Tennessee got to get out of that play action or run play action shot, run play action shot, or shotgun shot. Like I mean, it was all fine and dandy when you had Hendon Hooker and Jalen Hyatt, but when Nico Iamaleava and whoever the receivers are on the outside, they're not as talented to just go post all day.
Yeah, their receivers also have a lot of drops too.
Yeah, they're not that great for them to be like always throwing the ball 20 plus yards down the field.
That's just like there's a few teams in the playoffs that would dismantle Tennessee whole-handedly just because off of them trying to sit here and play action the entire time. If you can keep Dylan Sampson in check, he ain't got to really worry about Nico just dotting you up the entire game.
Well, Nico's gonna have to change that if he wants to win a national championship. Michigan. The Big Blue does it again. 4 straight seasons they put the BTA to Ohio State. Ryan Day has a Jerome Moore problem. Ryan Day has a Michigan problem. Ryan Day has a NIL problem. Ryan Day has a boosters problem. Ryan Day has a fan problem. Ryan Day has an Ohio State problem. Ryan Day has a quarterback problem. Ryan Day has a lot of problems this week in Ohio State. A lot of mad boosters who spent $20 million to put together that NIL roster he has over there to win a national championship and to beat Michigan. Because let's not get it twisted. As much as they love a national championship, they love beating Michigan more. Somehow, some way, they love beating Michigan more. And Ryan Day has not done it since 2016 is the last time, or 2019. 2019 is the last time Ohio State beat Michigan in the big game.
That's insane. You losing to them 4 straight years.
No.
And this is literally their worst years. So this is your perfect time of beating them. And you're at home. That's the crazy thing.
You're at home. You're at home. Last year with Cal McCord, you lost to a national championship Michigan team. Well, this year, this is a Michigan team that Indiana beat. Didn't y'all whoop Indiana? Oh, okay. Okay. This is a Michigan team that Oregon beat. Didn't y'all lose to Oregon by 1 point?
Oh, my God.
This is a Michigan team that got curb stomped by Texas in week 2. This Michigan team is barely bowl eligible. Actually, I think because they beat you, they're bowl eligible.
Say it ain't so.
Let me just fact check, Chad, because if that's so, Ryan Day, bruh.
I don't know whether you should keep him or fire him.
And it's so like sad to say because we're talking about firing a coach that's like fucking 70-10 record wise in college football. Like Ryan Day wins every game in the history of college football with Ryan Day as a coach. He wins, except for fucking Michigan in national championship or postseason games. He doesn't win them. He can't beat Michigan. And I'm pretty sure, and I'm just a guy sitting at home in Texas, never in my life have I coached at a D1 or even FBS or FCS level. But I know that in his contract, it states you must beat Michigan. They don't want you if you can't do it. Just like Sharon Moore, when he took the job from Harbaugh in his contract, it says, well, you got to beat Ohio State. He did it twice. How did Sharon Moore take over a Michigan team after a national championship game, have no quarterback, have an offense that's on life support, have no Will Johnson, and go into the shoe and beat you? Will Howard's healthy. Judkins, Trevion Henderson, they were both playing. JJ was playing. Emeka Ibuka, I think he was playing. Denzel Burke was out there. Caleb Downs is out there. Your offensive coordinator is Chip Kelly.
They tight end was healthy one too, wasn't he?
Everybody was healthy except for that O-line.
There's just absolutely no way you guys fumble a game like this. They literally set you up to win this game, and you fumbled it. Now you're not even going to the championship at this point. The team that you beat is going to the championship instead of you.
Yeah, Michigan has 7 wins. They're bowl eligible.
It's the fact that Ohio State beat Penn State, lose to Michigan. Now Penn State's in a championship game except for them. That has to be some type of that's a different type of hurt.
Let me say this. If I told you that Davis Warren, Michigan's starting quarterback, would have thrown the ball 16 times, only completed 9 passes for 62 yards, and had 2 interceptions, you would have said, oh, Ohio State whooped their ass. No, because it did not matter. Because Will Howard also threw 2 interceptions. Remember how we said that Ohio State can't win games if they don't rush?
Yeah.
For over 100 yards? Well, they rushed for 77. When's the last time Ohio State rushed for less than 100 yards? I'm pretty sure it was that Nebraska game that we were talking about. They should have lost if it wasn't for a true freshman quarterback who has never been in a situation where he had to lead a team down against a top 10 opponent.
It was,
right?
It was against Nebraska.
So isn't that crazy that we say that if you play an actual university and you do not rush for over 100 yards, you will not win? And then what happens to Ohio State the moment they don't rush for over 100 yards right after we make that statement?
They lose.
If you're watching the podcast, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. But we're never wrong. We're not wrong.
Mullins had 100 yards put on them with 2 touchdowns, I believe.
I'm just stating facts. Take it how you want to take it. but I called it. They can't run the ball, and then they lose games when they. You know what makes me even more mad? I'm mad for Ohio State fans because you went out and you ripped the transfer portal. You took the number one safety in the transfer portal and you said, come here. We're going to win the national championship this year. We have boosters that's willing to pay $20 million in NIL to make sure Caleb Downs is fed. You know how much money you have to give a player to have him flip from Alabama and the SEC to go to the Big Ten to play for Ohio State, who hasn't won a national championship since 2016?
You know the crazy thing is too, they got the number one running back too.
Or how much you have to pay Quinshon Judkins, the SEC rushing leader, to flip on Ole Miss when he knew Jackson Dart was coming back and Trey Harris was coming back and Lane Kiffin's an offensive-minded head coach that's going to make sure he rushes the ball for big yardage. The only way those players were flipping was because they were promised national championship on top of that NIL deal. Well, you're not looking like a national championship team because Chip Kelly, who you told the world you brought in because these two running backs were going to have the best run scheme with Chip Kelly as their offensive coordinator, because who knows how to run the ball? Chip Kelly knows how to run the ball. Hell no.
Chip Kelly didn't have success in the NFL.
They're not running the ball. Chip Kelly's supposed to be known for this run scheme. All I saw against Michigan was dives and zones. No creative run scheme at all. And Michigan ate that shit up. Killed them. And then we talked about how, and this is on us. This is on us, Dallin. This is on me and you. Because when Syracuse played Pitt earlier this year, and we watched Cal McCourt throw 5 interceptions against that Pitt defense, we sat on this podcast and said, hey, if you're an Ohio State fan, you're happy to have Will Howard over Cal McCourt. Maybe not, because I think Cal McCourt wins that game, especially watching Cal McCourt just beat Miami today. Cal McCourt wins that game. So I'm conflicted. I don't know if Will Howard is better than. I don't think Will Howard is better than Cal McCourt.
Yo, saying Cal McCourt gonna win you a game against Michigan is insane.
He would have. I would have won that game against Michigan. All you had to do was not throw 2 interceptions. That defense is going to stop them.
All they have is literally rushing the ball. They cannot.
One of those interceptions set up Michigan for a touchdown. You don't throw that pick, Michigan probably does not score a touchdown that game.
I told you.
You win that game 10-6. Will Howard, the game's on you. You threw that pick. Not only is it on you, though, because that's one possession, and that was early in the game, and you all should have been able to bounce back after halftime. No. Chip Kelly's dumbass don't know how to run fucking creative run schemes. What are you doing, Chip? They told us you were the run guy. You were the guy that was going to have Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson running the ball at a high level. Y'all can't run. I'm embarrassed. And I ain't even an Ohio State fan. I'm just embarrassed for the college football committee because they're still going to rank you guys in the playoffs. You don't deserve it. You're not going to a Big Ten championship game because you did not win. And they had you at 100% in the odds of making the college football playoffs with Oregon. 100%. And then after the game, you have the audacity to try to fight Michigan for planting a flag on your field. I'll plant the flag too.
I would too.
Y'all got beat by an unranked Michigan team that was double-digit underdogs in a rivalry game.
They were 21-point favorites. That's how bad y'all deserve. That's how bad this loss is. You guys were 21-point favorites. You got whooped at home. I don't even care you lost by 3 points. You got whooped. Y'all were a better team overall. Offensive, defense, special teams, everything. Better. and you blew it.
Wow. I mean, like, I'm an Oklahoma Sooner fan, and my offense, who got waxed by LSU today, looked way better than Ohio State's offense today.
And that's crazy to say.
And that's sad because we have like the worst offense in FBS right now. And I would have took my offense against Michigan over yours. What the? And Michigan was missing first round talent on defense. They did not have Will Johnson. Why didn't they attack?
I would immediately call like so many passing plays going straight to that new corner.
I feel bad for Jeremiah Smith because your talent is wasted. Your talent's being wasted. I mean, no receiver had over 100 yards.
You would have thought, oh, Michigan's missing a top corner. You know, the best duo receiver in the college football right now. Y'all should both have at least 100 yards apiece.
You lost to a team that could not throw the football. You lost to a team with 62 passing yards. You lost to a team that basically could have handed you their playbook and said, hey, coach, on first, second, and third down, we're probably going to run it. Oh my God! I
ain't got no words for Ohio State.
I don't think they should be in the playoffs. I think as a punishment, they should be removed from the College Football Playoff Committee rankings.
With 2 L's, this one hurts way worse than Oregon L.
It's not about 2 L's, and I don't want to hear the whole argument that I know people are going to make. Well, it's a rivalry game, and rivalry games are always close. No, fuck that. Rivalry games are always close? Is that what you're going to tell me? If rivalry games are always close, how come Alabama beat Auburn by 2 touchdowns today? How come Notre Dame beat USC by 2 touchdowns today? How come Texas beat A&M by 10? How come Arizona State beat Arizona 49-7? But rivalry weekend, everything is close. No. It ain't Georgia close. Because Georgia still won. You lost to an unranked Michigan team. Y'all combined for 23 points. Michigan was supposed to lose by 21. Ooh, y'all suck, Ohio State. Oh my God. All y'all fans.
Transfers just for nothing.
Man, all that money, bro. All that money, bro.
Does not even make the championship game.
All that money, man. I wish I had one of them little toilets so I can just flush it. Because all that money went down the toilet, bro. Down the damn toilet, bro. Because
he might be, that coach might be 70-something wins, 10 losses, but it's at the same time, it's like y'all, 4 of those losses came from Michigan.
And I was watching College Game Day, and they were like, oh, Michigan or Ohio State this week on campus. They were putting X's across all M's on campus. So anything that had an M in it, they put an X over the M. Oh, didn't matter. You can X out all the M's you want. What you didn't X out was the L. Should have X'd the fucking L out. Now y'all got all them L's on campus. No M's, but all L's, bro.
They didn't even give anybody a chance to pick between Michigan or Ohio State. Everybody went straight Ohio State. I'm talking about that was the quickest flip.
Reese Davis is up there like, no need to get into that Michigan Ohio State game. I think you know who we all got across the board. We're just gonna move on.
It was so funny. My God.
That's on us too. I mean, I picked Ohio State to win, and
Yeah.
and look,
When I heard Will Johnson was playing, I was like, "Yep, Ohio State got it."
like that. I didn't even have to hear that. I mean, you guys basically have more money than you're the richest team in college football. You're the richest team in college football. I think the only team even close to your bank account is Texas and Oregon. Ridiculous. Moving on. Number 15, South Carolina wins at number 12, Clemson, 17-14. My takeaway from this game is Lenore Sellers. That freshman is a dog. Like this year's freshman class, or not this year's freshman class, because I think he's a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, he's
a redshirt football. But like this year's first year freshmen, these guys that are playing for the first time at the collegiate level, Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith, Sam Levitt from Arizona State.
Yeah.
Lenore Sellers, Marcel Reed at Texas A&M. Like, God, Arch Manning. College football is about to be amazing these next few years because these freshmen are dogs. Draylon Miller, the freshman at Colorado. Like, these freshmen are dogs. I'm excited.
Just like the potential they show now in their freshman season. Just give them by at least a year or two.
Nico, let me not forget. I mean, not forget for the Tennessee fans. Nico Iamaleava, also one of those freshmen that are competing at a high level. Yeah.
Fuck Nico. What we're talking about here?
I mean, Nico's the best freshman.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Potential wise,
my ass. No.
Potential.
We're just gonna skip over Lenore Sellers like he ain't just.
He's better than Lenore Sellers.
Put that South Carolina team against Tennessee. I bet you South Carolina come out with the W.
Not because of Lenore Sellers over Nico.
I bet you will be Lenore
actually,
Sellers.
I don't think South Carolina beat Tennessee.
He is 242 at quarterback. No. And he runs like a tank. He runs like Cam Newton. Negative.
I like Lenore Sellers, but I think Tennessee's team, like I said, the team is good.
The team can be good, but the team can look like they can barely play together.
Whatever. Overrated Clemson still. Personally, I think Clemson's also overrated. We said that earlier this year when I went off on Clay Klubnik for being a Heisman candidate, and then they lost to Louisville. That's how I feel still. This game was actually closer than I thought it was going to be. I thought South Carolina was going to come out here and dominate Clemson. I think they kind of felt the road vibes a little bit.
Yeah. I watched this game from I think to the end of the fourth. I kind of shut it off after a while because another game came on. But when I was watching it, Clemson and South Carolina, everybody was flying. So I knew from right then and there it was gonna be a defensive game. I thought South Carolina was gonna manhandle Clemson. I didn't think it was gonna be this close. South Carolina had to come back too. They was down. What was it? I think 14-7. I think 14-7 going to the fourth. They had to come back. So I give my props to Clemson. SMU gonna have to. SMU don't bring the A game. They're gonna win.
Yeah, I mean, I think SMU will do championship picks on Thursday, but yeah. I'll wait till then. But yeah, I think should be interesting because this is Clemson's best case scenario. You know what I mean? Because they have more losses than Miami, but they still might get in because they have that 60-second championship game.
I'm about to say, would they still get in if they lose to SMU?
No. Fuck no. No. This is why I said
I
this is
don't. I
Clemson's
think.
best case scenario because now if they lost if they beat South Carolina and then lost to SMU, maybe it's like a small percentage. But I think like as a 3-loss team, your only chance of making the playoffs is winning your conference championship. They have an opportunity to, and they're playing against SMU and not Miami, and that's also a blessing because I feel like Clemson struggles against teams that can put up points. So
Yes, you can put
they're
support
playing against SMU. I mean, SMU can score, but like I feel like Clemson's chances of beating SMU is better than their chances of beating.
Yeah,
Oh,
Miami.
actually, yeah, Miami, yeah. But SMU, I mean,
There ain't no pushover.
yeah, not at all. Who? That was your dark horse earlier out this year, and they're
It was.
they're not the dark horse no more. They're favorite. They're the favorites now to win.
That's insane. Who would have thought SMU?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, who would have thought Arizona State was a favorite in the Big 12 now?
Yeah. But I mean, well, we got to give the history between Arizona State and SMU. Arizona State had Jane Daniels. I thought they were gonna win it then. But SMU, they've been mediocre in the pack for a while.
Well, yeah, this is their first year in a Power 4 conference. SMU, because they came from the AAC, and they weren't supposed to be here this year. They paid to be here this year. They weren't getting paid to be a ACC team. They paid to play in the ACC. So not only did they pay to play in the ACC, they're winning the ACC. Can you imagine? It's like, I want to play with y'all, so I want to play in a Power 4 conference so bad. For my guys, I'm willing to pay millions of dollars to be a part of the conference this year. Not only do you pay, but you dominate this year. And you're the number one team in the conference. And if you win the conference in your first season, also like Texas, like imagine an Oregon. Like, we're about to have possibly 3 teams that all win their conference their first year in that conference.
Yeah, that's insane. I don't want Georgia to win, but it definitely looks in Texas' favor.
And Arizona State. If Arizona State wins the Big 12, that'd be the first time. That'd be them winning the Big 12 in their first year in that conference from the Pac-12. So, like, we can have potentially all 4 of our conference champions be first-time conference champions in those conferences. Insane.
Yeah, it's been a strange year for college football. It's been a strange year.
Oh, yeah, the 12-team playoff has been amazing. Moving on to another team. Also, South Carolina, great game. I mean, Rocket Sanders, dog. And then that D-line.
Tough. Told you.
Tough. And then Lenore Sellers. I mean, Lenore Sellers gets better every week. I don't know how you're going to beat this team. I think South Carolina gets in as an at-large team after championship weekend.
Oh, we're going to see. I'm rating on Tuesday.
Arizona State, number 16, dominates Arizona. None much to really talk about this game. We both picked Arizona State to win this game. Sam Levitt's playing amazing. Kenny Dillingham might be coach of the year. Maybe Kurt Signetti, really, but
nothing.
He should be a finalist. Yeah. But yeah, I think we both agree that this is what we thought was going to happen. Maybe not to this extent, but I didn't think it was going to be close. Arizona sucks this year. Tedero McMillan and Noah Fafita were the only things they had last year. And, you know how they say, like, when you starting out and you're doing well, just wait till next season when they got film on you and let's see if you're still doing well. That's how I feel about this Arizona offense, because they did so well last year, and it was like Noah Fafita and Tedero McMillan are like superstars and upcoming stars in this. And then they're like, oh, we got film on you guys, and we know your tendencies and what you like, and we're studying film the week before games. And Tedero McMillan did not look like the Tedero McMillan last year. Noah Fafita definitely did not look like Noah Fafita last year. So, product of a little bit of film. You got some film on you, and now we know your tendencies. And Like I said, both of those. I mean, Tedero is going to the NFL, but I said earlier this year, if you watched our first episode of the podcast this year, Noah Fafita should transfer to a team that does not need quarterback play to win. They just need quarterback play to sustain. To a smaller school?
Yeah, to a smaller one.
I think he should go to a school. He should go to a school that teaches him how to use his size as an advantage. The only two universities that has coaches, not coaches, but the only two universities that has success with quarterbacks that small is Alabama and USC, technically, because Lincoln Riley's there. Because like Lincoln Riley coached Kyler Murray. So like he can coach a smaller, scrambling quarterback on how to be a Heisman Trophy candidate. I don't think Noah Fafita is going to be that. I just think he should go to an offense that can benefit him. Arizona was expecting Noah Fafita to be like Heisman Trophy level this year. The kid cannot read a defense. He's too small.
He needs somebody else besides him and a receiver.
He needs a run game. That's a start.
I think he should go to Michigan because
I think he should go to. He's not going to Michigan. They just signed Bryce Underwood. Good luck.
That's fine.
But he should go to USC. He should go to USC. I think he has a chance there. He should go to Penn State with Drew Aller leaving. Like I always said, he should go to Penn State. They'll have a defense. They'll have a run game. It'll just be about him making plays when they do need him to throw the ball. Realistically, though, he might just have to go back to Arizona if he wants a starting job.
I can't watch this fucking game no more.
Maybe Kansas State. But there will be no DJ Giddings there anymore. And I think what's his name was Avery Johnson's coming back next year, so maybe not. Whatever. Nothing better to talk about. Arizona just did not meet expectations this year. Number 6, Miami falls to Syracuse in Syracuse, 42-38. It happened, Dallin. It happened.
I told you they meet a good offense and a good defense. Miami's don't stand a chance. It happens every time.
It happened. We talk about it every week. Cam Ward, bro. He can't save you. He can't save you all the time. He can only do so much. And two things. It was 42-35 with like 4 minutes left in that game. Miami had the ball on 4th and short, and they kick a field goal instead of going for it, and they never got the ball back. I don't understand that. You're down 7 with Cam Ward as your starting quarterback with 4 minutes left in the game on 4th and 5 or 4th and short. Why don't you go for it and score a touchdown? Because we know Cam Ward is special, and he probably would have made that 4th down conversion happen.
I cannot understand from a D1 level coach thinking when you have a Heisman quarterback and you're down 7 with 4 minutes left and it's 4th and short, why are we not going for it? It's the 4th quarter. At this point, everything's off the table. This is a make or break game right now. There's no reason why you're not going for the ball. I mean, going for
you're champ. So, like, and also my thoughts is. So you're like, we kick a field goal, we get the ball back, and then a touchdown wins it. I'm guessing that's what he was thinking.
But why are you playing it?
Well, idiot.
You play aggressive.
Yeah, idiot. If you go for it on 4th down and you get stopped, you can still get the ball back and go score and tie it up. So you just go for it. Why take a field goal when you need 7 late in a football game? Oh my God, the coaching this year. Like I feel like I can do better at play calling. I watched Georgia Tech and Georgia struggle at just running the football in overtime. Run the ball, man.
There's no way I'm not putting the ball in a Heisman quarterback's hands to go make a play for a first down when we need it the most. There's absolutely no way.
And also, like, whoever the defensive coordinator is at Miami, he should get fired just solely because you have a Heisman quarterback in one of the most explosive offenses in college football, and you can't stop a nosebleed. You look like Lincoln Riley's Oklahoma teams.
My God.
That's who they look like. They look like Lincoln Riley Oklahoma teams. The only difference between them and Lincoln Riley's Oklahoma teams is Lincoln Riley's Oklahoma teams did not lose football games. They won every single shootout. Well, twice now you have dropped the shootout. You had Cal McCord out there looking like goddamn Baker Mayfield back in 2015. Why was he throwing the ball so effectively over that whole Miami defense?
Oh my God, bro.
Had that boy looking like Matt Leinart, Heisman Trophy Matt Leinart. What are we doing, bro? Miami, you sold. If I'm Cam Ward, I'm hurt. I chose to come here, and I did everything to get us to a national championship, and y'all could not even help me win the conference. He bailed you out of Virginia Tech. He bailed you out of Cal.
Keep going, because he did the same thing for Louisville.
He bailed you out of Louisville. He bailed you out of Wake Forest last week.
Is this? No, that team has always been sus the entire year. Everybody so raved about Cam Ward. That's fine, but you gotta look at his supporting cast as well. One man can't get the job done. Offense.
He bailed you out of Duke in the second half.
Oh, that game had me mad. Who was that? Respro? I think it's Respro. Phenomenal receiver.
Yeah,
Cam Ward is able to feed him and get him the ball, just let him go. But it's the fact that y'all cannot get a single stop on defense.
Yeah, that boy Xavier Restrepo is nasty.
So, defensive coordinator, gone. Already out the door. After that game, he's out the door. You get the best quarterback in the fucking transfer portal. Don't even give him the conference championship. You can't even do that. Miami's always gonna be Miami.
Well, I think that was Miami's playoff hopes that just dropped in the orange today.
Yeah, it's over for them.
Which might open up the door for our next team as number 13 Alabama beats Auburn 28-14 to win the Iron Bowl. Jalen Milroe and Alabama basically said we're going to run the ball today and you're not going to be able to stop us. Defense played amazing. Auburn had a little bit of hangover from beating Texas A&M in that thriller last week.
Oh yeah. My thing about Bama is for you to stop turning the damn ball over. Jalen Milroe had like 2 fumbles today. I'm like, can we just hang on to the ball? And then also threw pick 2. Can we just stop turning the ball over? We cannot win. Surprisingly, we won this game, but I already was gonna win. I thought it was gonna be a whole lot different from this since we're at home. This man turned the ball over 3 times. We only won by 2 touchdowns. That's not going to be able to work in the college playoffs. You give the ball, let's say we play Oregon, turn the ball over once in them, they're most likely scoring 3 points or a touchdown. You do it twice, it's a wrap because they're going to score again. You get the momentum. It's over. The game's over. You cannot turn the ball over that much and think you're going to be effective. Now, that defense
ran for 201 yards though, so that's sustainable.
That is. He made this shit up. But it's like defense, top, getting the hats off. Malachi Moore was hitting. Demai Jackson was covering everything. Lions had Peyton Thorne struggling to read the defense. It was good.
Yeah, Alabama. I mean, because of everything that's happening, because of the Clemson loss, and because of Michigan and Ohio State, because Georgia survived, yeah, you might have a chance. If you were a Miami fan, or not a Miami fan, if you were an Alabama fan, you were kind of hoping that Texas A&M beat Texas today because it would also open up the door for you a little bit. But it didn't happen. Good win for Alabama, though. Good win. Kept their playoff hopes alive. So, kudos to them. Number 5, Notre Dame beats USC 49-35. I think this might be the best team in college football, dog.
Not that defense though.
That defense is real. The offense is scoring. They can run the ball.
Yeah.
I don't think it's foolish to say they might be the best team in college football.
Oh, I just gotta see them get some real competition though. They haven't played nobody for real.
Well, they're in the playoffs.
They played what, Michigan early in the year? And that was it.
They played A&M.
Oh, A&M. Yeah, they played A&M early in the year. That was it.
Yeah, well,
they haven't played nobody ever since.
Ever since that Northern Illinois loss, they've been on a mission, averaging 40 points a game.
But who have they played? This is another team that hasn't played anybody. They played Texas A&M first game of the week. Other than that, they lost to an unranked Northern Illinois, and then they're beating Navy Academy. I mean, not Navy Academy. They're beating Navy. They're beating Army. Like that. That's your ranked wins against academy schools.
Yeah, but like
I have to see them against.
Their strength of schedule looks a little better than Texas's.
Oregon. I got to see them against them before I think they're a contender for the Natty.
Yeah, but like Texas' only win is against A&M also.
And that's another thing. Even with Texas, they. I'm not saying Notre Dame's not might be the best team. I'm just saying it's just the teams we think is the best has been looking suspect. Yes, but it's like if a couple plays doesn't go this way, because Texas A&M could definitely have won this game if they capitalize off of what was it, 2 turnovers? 2 turnovers. Yeah. They could have had. It should have turned to points. It should have been. What is it? 21, probably 17 or 14. But it's like they didn't do that. So there's a lot of things that could have went a different way against these teams. In the college playoff, will it happen? It might. Will it not happen? That might happen as well. But we'll just see.
Yeah, I mean, their defense is good. They're running the ball well. Justice Love. What's his name? That running back?
Jeremiah Love.
Yeah. Demon. That man's a demon. Notre Dame's defense is real though. And even that defense being that real, USC still put up 35. USC fought. It was just too much late in that game.
And then they don't even play nobody for a championship. That's a sad thing.
Nope. But I think they're going to be the 5th ranked team in the college football bracket.
Yeah.
So they'll either play the Big 12 champion or they'll play Boise State in the first round, which means they'll play either the Big 12 champion and Boise State in the second round also. Which means they might have the easiest path to a conference championship game or a semi-championship game because they have to go through the Big 12 and Boise. We already know they're going to dominate Boise, and then they might even dominate Arizona State, or Houston's losing this game 21-10, so it might be Iowa State or Arizona State, not Colorado.
Yeah, I already cut the game off after they threw a pick.
So, yeah. Notre Dame is the truth, though. I think they proven that hiccup early this year is gone.
Yeah, I do believe that though. I just got to see them get some competition.
All right, if you made it this far, before we get into our last two reviews of the night, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification button as we keep bringing you this college football knowledge every week. And then, when this season wraps up and the playoffs are over and we're done talking about college football for a little bit, we might obviously we're going to cover some of the offseason transfer portal moves and whatnot, but we might transition to a little bit of NFL football as the NFL season gets closer to the playoffs. We watch it, we keep up with it, we talk, we know the stats, we know the statistics. We've been focusing on college football because this year's been wild in college football. But yeah, once the college football season ends and we start getting closer to the NFL playoffs, we'll start sprinkling some NFL analytics as well and talks. It's going to be great. So make sure you got that notification button, bell on so you don't miss none of that. All right, last two games. Number 18, Iowa State beats number 24, Kansas State, 29-21. Embarrassing. Kansas State season just went to shit late this year. They were projected, after that Colorado win, they were projected to be one of the three teams that made it to the end. It was between them, Iowa State, and BYU at the time. A lot of those teams, gone from the race. BYU out of the playoff. Out of the Big 12 championship race and possibly out of the playoffs. Kansas State, far from a playoff team, far from a Big 12 championship team now.
Let's see. After they lost to Houston, I think that was a downfall right there. Houston is bad, but the fact that they lost to them, that kind of twiddled their whole entire season to a downfall.
Yeah, I feel bad for that Kansas State team, or the seniors that thought they were going to have a better year than that. DJ Giddens, who's running back for the Kansas State Wildcats, probably going to be NFL running back next year. Special, but couldn't get it done. Couldn't get it done this year. But could have got it. Hey, this is one of those games that Colorado was hoping Kansas State won for them. But they didn't. BYU was also hoping for Iowa State loss.
But that didn't happen.
Nope. So Iowa State probably going to play in that Big 12 championship game. Claps for Iowa State. They're also having an amazing season. First 10-win season in Iowa State history this year. So clap it up to their head coach.
Dang. Who would have thought Arizona State would have made the playoffs?
Yeah, they got to beat Iowa State next week.
Man, we already know this happened. There's nothing we need to talk about between them two. Arizona State is going to dog walk. Probably not even dog walk. They're going to beat about 10 points.
I think we'll discuss it next week. Last game of the broadcast. Number 3 Texas just beat Texas A&M 17-7. What a game! What intensity! This rivalry is good for the sport. There's legit hate between these two universities, and it showed on the field. Texas early could not get anything going. Texas A&M had the straps, the seatbelt buckled on Texas. Quinn Ewers breaks a sack, rushes for 26 yards, twisted his ankle. Coach Sarkisian's like, don't worry about it. We're going to throw in Arch Manning, who gets the first rushing touchdown for Texas A&M, or for Texas against A&M. And basically, from there on, Texas had the lead and never gave it up. Wins that game 17-7 with a goal line stop late in that game.
I echo need better play caller.
Yeah, listen. I sat on this podcast 5 weeks ago after A&M beat LSU. I said they were the best team in the SEC. I said they were going to be an SEC championship team. I said all of those things. None of those things are true now. None of those things are true now. But listen. I'm human. Not everything I say is true. Most of this I say is true, but you know, I take my L's when I take my L's. Texas A&M definitely fell off. Texas, big win. Defense is amazing. That Texas defense is amazing.
That D-line is crazy.
Their offense still questionable about that offense.
Weiser, now that running back they have, Weiser is insane.
I just have questions on their consistency throwing the football. Might cost them a playoff game if they don't put up more points than that. Because Texas A&M is far from the best defense they're going to face.
I think Texas is one of them teams that lean on their defense a little too much. Because there were some throws that Clinton Ewers should have thrown a lot better. But it's just like, oh, I just do that bad. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna go get it back on defense. I don't think that's what you can do every game that you play. Because there's some teams that you throw that and then it costs you in the long run.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what a game for Texas, though. Texas secures a spot in the SEC championship game with that win. Embarrassing loss for Texas A&M. That fan base is mad. College Game Day went to Texas A&M twice this year, and both times they lost. Maybe it's College Game Day that's bringing that bad luck to College Station. That's like the hardest place to play. And
it is.
Teams are just going in there and they're winning football games.
It's crazy. That crowd is insane. That the whole broadcast was shaking probably mostly the entire time.
Oh yeah, I mean the defense had that crowd in it all game.
Yeah,
they gave
that's
that team
hope. Texas A&M defense gave them 2 turnovers, a pick, and a fumble. There's no way you guys don't go down there and capitalize.
Yeah, Mike Elko next year. Some food for thought next year.
Trash.
For all you Texas A&M offensive coordinator, Mike Elko, Marcel Reed, and whoever else is going to be a part of this A&M roster next season. Some food for thought. If you want to win football games against these top tier college football teams, you got to trust Marcel Reed's ability to read and throw against the defense. He's special with his legs. Do not get me twisted. He's just as special as Lenore Sellers when he decides to run the ball. And the A&M offensive line can get a push and they can run the ball. They cannot run the ball against Texas. And Texas knew that they wanted to run the ball and they were stopping it. And if you're going to win an SEC championship game, a playoff game next season, you got to let Marcel Reed drop back and throw the football. You have to trust in his ability to do that. Or you're going to be one-dimensional. And it's going to lead to turnovers. 3 times on the goal line, you ran the ball and got stuffed. You got to throw the ball. You got to mix it up. Play action, RPO. There's other ways to get Marcel Reed running and also looking to throw the ball down the field. Play action, rollouts, boots, RPOs. Let him throw the ball, though. He got to throw the ball to win the games. That was my takeaway. He had a bunch of mistakes, but it looked like he was just mostly trying to run the football and not really looking to throw the football this game.
My main thing is y'all get down to the 2 yard line, ran the ball 3 times. Not one time did throw it, then scramble for a touchdown or nothing. I'm like, even with that last week, you see how the D ends and everybody on that right, I think that left side just came down. Fake it. That should have been an easy time for you to fake it and go score. That's it. Y'all know 1 yard line. I'm giving the ball to Reed and letting him scramble. My chemicals just gotta get better with his play calling. Ever since that, what was that LSU win? Downhill.
Yeah, the play calling offensively has not been there. And I don't know if it's because they don't trust Marcel Reed's ability to throw the ball down the field or whatever it may be. If that is the case, Marcel Reed this offseason, get in the lab, dude. Practice reading defenses and throwing the ball. Mike Elko, get in the lab now and start thinking about better offensive schemes. And take the Tennessee offensive coordinator with you so that he can learn something too. And also, while you're at it, take Georgia Tech's offensive coordinator and Georgia's offensive coordinator and Chip Kelly. And there are all these other offensive coordinators that just goddamn suck at play calling in big games. All y'all need to have a knowledge talk. Because, I don't want to be the guy that sits on the couch and be like, well, I can do what they're doing. Like, I don't know what it's like to go to Aggie Stadium and coach a game in the loudest stadium in college football. What I do know is that if you run the ball on first down and get stuffed, and you run the ball on second down and get stuffed, and you run the ball on third down and get stuffed, that you're probably going to get stuffed on fourth down, dumbass. So don't run it again. That's all I know. Fucking 50-year-old coaches don't know that. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, they're not going to expect to run here. 1 yard line, you have nothing. You have 3 tight ends. Okay, let's try to sit there and beef.
And it's not even like you're creatively doing it. It's not like you're gonna. Which I saw on 2 of those run plays from A&M that they might have had a chance of like pulling it with Marcel Reed and he can beat the DN out and get to the corner. No, we're just gonna straight downhill zone read or dive it every single time, knowing damn well they can stop it. There's no creativity to it. There's not a jet sweep, no motion, no shovel, no pitch, no toss, no zone read, no RPO, just straight handoffs 4 fucking times. Duh. And then on fourth down, you're not even in shotgun to even insinuate that there may be something else. You go under center and single back and hand it directly to the halfback. Like they ain't just see the same run play 3 times.
It would have been perfect to run that little bootleg QB sneak, wherever they want to call it. Just fake it. That whole DN just crashed right on the running back because they knew you was just gonna hand the ball off to him.
All you have to do is take the tight end.
Let Marcel get 1 yard.
Listen, you can get a single back. All you have to do is take the tight end on the right, put the tight end on the right side, play action boot to that right side, have the tight end block and release across the formation, have the quarterback spin back. If he has the tight end, throw it. If he does not have the tight end, run it. Touchdown, A&M. That's the play call right there. And if you want to have 2 route concepts, you can also have the receiver on the right side do a drag and cut across the back of the end zone so that he has 2 options. Now he has a tight end in that back pylon throw. No, like we're just gonna hand it off against the best D-line in the country 4 straight times.
Offensive coordinator be fired. Hand the walking papers on your desk early in the morning.
If you made it this far in the video and you listen to our whole rant about offensive coordinators sucking at play calling late in games, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Comment down, let us know how you feel about the officiating this year, how you feel about the coaching this year. Yeah. Turn on that notification button so you don't miss an episode. This was an amazing week of college football. We'll be back Tuesday with reactions to the college football playoff rankings release show. We might, depending on time schedule, we'll see if we can go live and like watch the rankings review video or the rankings release video during the podcast so that we can like get live reactions to it. We'll see though. I think the rankings release is at 7 Eastern time or 8 Eastern time. So we'll see. Like, we both got kids, so we got to see how the kids is doing that day. If they in bed at a good time and whatnot, if that works out that way.
For it.
If not, then we'll do what we always do, pull up the rankings and talk about it. But yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see y'all next time.